Welcome back to the Pulse. The Parliament's Energy Committee has bemoaned a recent increase in tariffs by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, insisting Ghanaians rather deserve a reduction. PURC on Tuesday announced that electricity tariffs for all customers categories will rise by 9.86%, while water increases by 15.92%. Well, the PRC says this decision follows months of investment hearings, stakeholder consultations and regional public forums held across the country as part of the regulatory process. But Deputy Ranking Member on the Energy Committee of Parliament, Collins Adomako-Mensah, believes Ghanaians rather deserve a reduction.
Yesterday we woke up to hear that they've gone ahead to increase electricity by how much? Electricity have gone up by 8.86, and then water has gone up by 15.92%. Now, I've taken my time to read the release. Now, and this morning I've had the chance to speak to some officials of PURC. This particular increment is to take care of capital expenditure and some aspect of operational expenditures. So this ECG increment of 9.something% is just to deal with the utilities capital requirements for the period 2025 to 2029 or 2030. Yes, what this means is that between this period, they are not coming back to us to request for another increment in tariff to take off capital expenditure. However, if you read the release, Ghanaians should brace themselves because this has nothing to do with the quarterly adjustment. Indeed, by March, depending on the economic factors, we should expect another increment. So this has nothing to do with the quarterly adjustment that takes place every quarter. This is just the major one that we do every 3 to 5 years, and normally to take care of major capital expenditures. If you read the statement from PURC, they talk about mini grids, off-site areas where it's very difficult to reach. Government is rolling out, and in the budget they did indicate that they are rolling out some mini grids installations in some hard to reach areas. This increment is going to take care of that and other capital expenditures. So yes, ordinarily any Ghanaian will not be excited about an increment in tariffs, but I am comforted that it was not the 200 and something% that the utility agencies were requesting for. We have always advocated that when you request for an increase, Ghanaians should see a commensurate level of service with this increment. So I'm hoping that ECG services will improve, VRA services will improve, and all the other utility agents, Ghana Water services should improve. In fact, when we met PURC, Ghana Water is under major stress with Galamsey. They showed us videos of how bad the Galamsey menace is contributing to an increase in the expenditures that they have. So by and large, as a minority, we are not too excited about any increment. But I'm just hoping that the quarterly adjustment that will come to add up to this major adjustment will not cause too much harm to the Ghanaian people.
So how much really are you going to pay? We want to give you a pictorial analysis of how much you're likely to pay considering these new increases in water and electricity. And of course, we are showing you the big numbers that we've been projecting, and it is that electricity is going up by 9.36% increase across all categories of consumers or customers. And with water, we are seeing an increase of 15.92% increase across all customer classes. So this is how much you are going to pay. We're going to compare the existing price with the new price, which will come into effect very soon. With Lifeline consumers, if you used to pay 80 Ghana pesos for electricity, now you're going to have to pay 88 Ghana pesos when this new increment comes into effect. And with others, also between 0 to 300 kilowatts, you're going to have to pay 1 cedi, or if you used to pay 1 cedi, 82 pesos, now you're going to pay 2 Ghana cedis. Now, above 300 kilowatts, you're going to pay 2 cedis, 25 pesos, if you used to pay 2 cedis and 4 pesos. How about water? For residential, the category is here, and if you used to pay 5 cedis, 28 pesos, you're now going to have to pay 6 cedis, 12 pesos. And with others, if you used to pay 9 cedis, 34 pesos, you are now going to pay the new price of 10 cedis, 83 pesos, if the tariff adjustment kicks in. Now, for non-residential consumers, if you used to pay 15 cedis, 81 pesos, you are going to pay 18 cedis, 33 pesos. And these are the figures when you decide to add the over 8 or over 9% increase in electricity and the 15% increase in water. So what was considered? These are the factors that were considered. The cost of fuel, they say, has gone up. The exchange rate keeps fluctuating. Inflation rate also, although it has come up or it has gone down, and the system losses. So these were the 4 major factors that were considered before this tariff adjustment was concluded. And also we have, for water, the production and sales volume. That was considered. System losses was also considered. And just like was considered for electricity, exchange rate and inflation rate were all considered. So these are the 4 major factors that were considered for water before that 15% tariff adjustment was reached. And the same was considered for electricity before that 9% adjustment was reached as well. So you now have a bit of an understanding of how much you are going to pay depending on how much you consume when the new tariff adjustment comes to effect. So it's a good time to bring in the managing director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Julius Pekpena. Grateful for your time this evening. What has necessitated this tariff adjustment?
Hello.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, so thank you for the opportunity, but let me correct, I'm not the managing director for Electricity Company of Ghana. I'm the acting deputy managing director for commercial services.
Okay.
And the name is Ebenezer Baden.
Thank you.
Okay. So I've been listening closely at the analysis you are doing, and the first thing to say is that the parameters you have put there are not the parameters that were put in the publication. The publication talks about the investment requirements of the utilities. Now, for macroeconomic factors as inflation, and then also
Do I have Ebenezer on the line?
It's important to clarify this. Quarterly reviews looks at only the macroeconomic variable. Some major structural issues that have come up, including, for example, the mini grids that was described. So it's just to mention to you that it's mainly investments to address capex, new substations, new lines. As we came to customers, we have spoken about. We had gone to borrow funds to do investments, major projects, which we see today on ground, for which we are using to deliver services to customers. And then based on these, the loans that we've taken, there was need to pay for them. So we came to our customers and the regulator to ask for some adjustment.
And are you certain that these new adjustments can cover the costs and losses? Hello, can you hear me?
Early days to say, but it's early days to say, but what we are trying to do.
Hello, Ebenezer, can you hear me? Right, we seem to be having challenges with Ebenezer from the Electricity Company of Ghana. But really, he's been giving us an overview of the reasons why they decided to increase electricity by 9.86%. And of course, as you are aware right now, also water is also going to be increased by 15.92% effective January 2026. And we've been running the figures for you. If you used to pay a certain amount, obviously, bear in mind that you are going to see increases of 9.86% in your electricity tariffs and also 15.92% in your water as well. So let's refresh the minds of our viewers. So these are the big numbers that we're dealing with. Electricity is going up by 9.36% across all category of consumers. With water also, we are seeing an increase of 15.92% across all categories of consumers. And this is it. If you used to pay 80 pesos for electricity, when the new tariff adjustment kicks in, you are going to have to pay 88 pesos. If you used to pay 1 cedi 82 pesos, you're going to have to pay 2 Ghana cedis when the new tariff kicks in. And if you used to pay 300, if you used to consume 300 kilowatts of electricity and above, you were paying 2 Ghana cedis and 4 pesos. You're now going to have to pay 2 Ghana cedis 25 pesos. Let's try to reconnect with Ebenezer and see if the line is any better now. We lost you along the line. I was asking if these new adjustments that you have put in place are going to be effective to cover your losses that you've incurred.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes.
Yes. So what I say is that we are in sort of sessions with the PURC, trying to understand in detail the parameters, all the projects, the costs that were considered and all. And then based on that, we should be able to now come out clearly with answers to what you have said. But we know that we should be able to recover our costs of that we have incurred so far by way of investments and also empower ourselves to do more for customers.
Was this the initial adjustment that you wanted, the percentage?
Okay, so if you study our proposal, ECG was looking at the distribution service charge only. And for that matter, we had spoken about a 2.25% increase. Now, we said we needed a structural shift on the distribution service charge. Now, what has been announced covers both the distribution service charge, the transmission service charge, and then the bulk generation charge, which is what the customer pays at the end. So when you put all proposals together, both generators, Gridco, and then ECG and Netco, the total application that was, or the total amount that was put before the regulator was about 46% increase. And then today we are seeing a 9.8% increase. Now, within the proposals, we also have mentioned that Government of Ghana had commissioned teams, of which I'm part, to renegotiate the power production cost or power purchase agreements. Now, these have brought serious gains to the table. And for that matter, about 65 to 70% of the cost that customers pay, government has sought to renegotiate them downwards. So there are different shifts in the structure, and we also still have to engage PURC to understand where generation is going, transmission and distribution numbers are going.
Let's talk about leakages, especially illegal connection, which is obviously a bigger issue, which is bothering your institution. But people have always wondered how you plan to tackle these issues, these leakages in your system. Do you think that you can do that alone by tariff adjustment, or are there any measures that you want to put in place to seal these leakages?
So I will have to clarify this. We are not curbing leakages by tariff adjustments. What we do is that we try to separate it into the technical and then the commercial losses. Now, the technical losses, we try to plan, model the network, also do simulations that will help us know where the losses are, and then put in investments that are required to address technical losses. So the technical losses are coming down significantly, and we foresee that we are going to drop it even further. Now, commercial losses, that has to do with theft, illegal connections, and all. We are patrolling our meters all the time. We have teams that are going around, different teams from various sources that are going around trying to monitor and even check what our employees are doing on the field to be able to address commercial losses. Today, we've been able to unearth a lot of meter bypasses, which are recovering some revenues back to the ECG revenue portfolio. So we'll intensify these. We'll make sure that we are monitoring and patrolling the networks effectively, and therefore ensure that.
Speaking of the commercial part, we also know so many state institutions which are owing ECG huge sums of money, millions and millions of Ghana cedis. How far with that? How are you recouping that?
Our revenue collection drive, today we are on the field doing revenue collection, massive revenue collection. And most of these large institutions have been visited. We've been able to curtail supply to some of them, negotiated, for example, payment plans for them to pay. And as you can see, our revenue collection performance is improving month on month. And we are guaranteeing that we will continue to let it improve or grow over time, so that we can also pay our suppliers upstream and our providers as well. So this is it. Everybody, any customer anywhere will be visited. We will check your bills. We'll check the meter integrity. We will check the supply chain, whether you've done some.
Unfortunately, we've lost Ebenezer there, but thank you very much. He's with the Electricity Company of Ghana, giving us some numbers as to the reasons why they decided to seek tariff increment of more than 9%. Let's bring you more stories on the polls, because Transport Minister Joseph Nikpe has dismissed allegations of unapproved budget spending and unauthorized charges at the airport. Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin, during the approval of the Transport Ministry budget in Parliament, said the ministry had overspent its 2025 budget allocation by more than 9 million Ghana cedis without recourse to parliamentary approval.
If you look at table 3, there is a huge scandal at table 3, paragraph page 6, table 3. A huge scandal. Capital expenditure, 2025 appropriation, what we approved in this house, 83 million. Releases, 92 million. Somebody must go to jail. Then when you come and see actual expenditure, 92 million, variance, negative 9.4. Somebody must account for this 9.4 million. It is clear that many of you are likely to go to jail. From what I am seeing, Mr. Speaker, just year one alone, only yesterday, you were on us. The slightest mistake, you'll be inviting MPP appointees to go to OSP, to go to NIB. Mr. J. Mensah himself admits, by signing this report, that there is some chop that has gone on.
Right, and Member of Parliament for Okaikwe Central, Patrick Boama, also raised concerns about the government's plan to increase airport service charge from 5 cedis to as much as 150 Ghana cedis.
most of our airports, except Kotoka International
Airport passenger service charge from 5 Ghana cedis to 100 cedis per passenger. The government is hiding this in the report. The Speaker, 100,000% increase, from 1,000% increase, from 5 Ghana cedis to 1,200 Ghana cedis per passenger on both domestic and international flights. So, Speaker, this is a very serious charge that the country must be made aware of. Mr. Speaker, airport tax, is this the resetting that now you can't even drive on our roads? Flying to has become too expensive. Is that what they promised this country? From 5 Ghana cedis to 100 Ghana cedis.